South Africa, South Africa, South Africa. You're not gonna ruin my life. You're gonna ruin your own. This here addendum, appendage, whether it is at the beginning of my video or at the end, I'm adding it. No, not because my mind has been made up about whether or not to post this video, but because I'm recording it because it's what's sitting on my chest at present to record it. But quite frankly, I still don't know if I'm gonna post it. I am going to attach it to the 14-part series that I've already edited and banked in my computer to post only once I am officially in South Korea, because that's where God showed me is where I'm going, and he keeps confirming it. That could be in a year and a half, maybe, depending on how things go. Because in order for me to succeed, to get to Korea as a teacher, I would need to have my degree. And in order for me to get my degree, I would need to first pay off my fees and then do stats for 6 months, full-time adverts. And only after that 6 months is it then going to become feasible for me to apply to work in Korea. If things go swimmingly and smoothly, that could be next year, July. So a year, essentially. Today is the 26th of June, 2026. And I don't want anything standing in my way because God showed me that this is what's gonna give. As I speak right now, having attached this to likely the beginning of my video as opposed to the end, you're probably creasing your forehead on some what in the world, you're just getting into it, but this is an appendage. It's something I'm adding because if I make a decision to post this video before I get to Korea, it says that my burden for you crazy monsters, the sorrow in my soul pertaining the observation of what's going on the ground, made me finally put myself in harm's way, put myself in danger, put myself at risk of further sabotage by deviant mongrels that have worked tooth and nail to make me come back to my ministry like they can summon me. Nkare I'm a demon. People thoroughly being of the imagination that they can summon Mzalwane, daughter or son for that matter, just a Christian at all, of the living God. Ngati, we are your demons in a cauldron, a pot, a little seance, some malevolent meeting full of a band of miscreants chanting in front of a pantheon of false gods, trying to bring forth the demons to do their bidding. But instead of demons, listen, it's a Christian. I'm not an entity. I am a human being. I don't get summoned, idiots. I don't just come and post because you know a spell. Like I said, before your pantheon of malevolent, ungodly gods. So your little spells ukungibuyisa lana. I've been pacing the floor as I've been looking at the country, walking up and down it. On some, if I post lezinja lezi esithanda ukusamona abantu ngathi ngamademon, zizocabanga ukuthi mina ngicontrolwa yimithi yabo, zizocabanga ukuthi mina ngicontrolwa iditlhare tsa bona tsa Satan. But nana hore their little cornucopia of demons have power ukuthatha mina ngekhala, hooking me ingathi ngifish in the ocean and then reeling me in ingathi I've been caught or whatever. Bait ayikho nje fela mina ngiyathathwa ngiyagrabeswa. I just get fished down ngathi it's a net encapsulating ifish in the ocean. But abantu that are like, Karabo, I mean, I'm not done watching you, I'm not done wasting isikhathi sakho, I'm not done making you islafa sam, busy njengama idea maningi enhloko, that you are out here vomiting like it's bile in the stomach of a person ongenakudla ongadlanga grensha pushawa ibabalas kodwa uyahlanza asazi ukuthi uhlanzani igwebu, can't afford to lose more internal whatever. Mara umuntu wakhona uyahlanza, kanti uzohlala uhlanza la, even though there's nothing coming into your system, uzohlala uhlanza, uzohlala usinikeza ama idea. You're gonna constantly just come here or entertain or tsikinyetsi or tsegis, because now I know how to like chant over a cauldron and summon umuntu, never mind the demon, to do my bidding. Kanguti, you can make abantu ama puppets on a string, and just based on just my sheer resolve for the things of God and my detestation, my absolute voluminous detestation of witchcraft and my sheer detestation of abathakathi bala eMzansi, Greshap abathakathi nje generally, it doesn't matter ukuthi bakuphi, has made me be like ziyangidelela lezi nje lezi, ziyangidelela, ziyangijwayela, we ngitela la mkhutwana motho nna ongisamonang ngare ke le demon. Ain't nobody gonna summon me. Kodwa at the same time, ningumuntu mina ngizelwe la. Zanzi is my country. I don't like you at present. Ningizwise ubuhlungu kodwa le ndawo le, it's no longer recognizable, Zenja. Do you understand? Akusabonakali. Khulififika monhle kafana. Walking around up and down kilisilo. Khwabuka. The country igqokwe ngathi ngijazi ngama demon. Thanks to occult practitioners, you have run it to the ground. And manje being Mzansi, a freak citizen though, angisenandaba nale ndawo. Kunzima to watch it happen, and I'm like, kodwa mina, I said these things in my ministry. Ngishilo ngathi this is what's coming to the country, and after thina sihamba abazalwane, the last one that God is fishing out of Sodom layeni, ano kuzoshuba zinja, and kunzima ukunibuka nje nilahlwa as abantu abaphelele ngoba nizelahlile vele. It's hard, because how can I not have compassion for my own country? The Bible says, no one, who puts their hand to the plow and then looks back is fit to enter the kingdom of God. So I'm looking back after putting my hand to the plow. I know where the direction of my feet are to go. For mina, God wam is the lamp to my feet. Angish, I am led. So God has given me clear direction. Hey, as I mean, for what? Let's some of your baddest and your biggest, your most bomb-blastest people. Your hydrochloric acid saliva. They land on our chests, creating a crevice in there, a crack, a perforation, making it impossible for us to breathe. Majesty need tubes. We need intubation. We need hospitalization. See, we are being breathed on behalf of by a machine. Some of your baddest and biggest people. Abantu, aba talented. Abantu, aba hlakanipile. Abantu, aba gifted. Your geniuses. Your boss ladies and your boss dudes. Ni tata ama carpet and you rip them from underneath. Moto that would have been brilliant for the nation. Spat us out and we are tobacco ever. With the nation doing that to its own people, guys, I mean, of course, I'm foreigners. Seeing as you ran out of South Africans to destroy, now you're destroying foreigners. Ish. So looking at this here Mzansi, on the periphery, left and right, scanning it, I was like, on my feet. Every step I take, there's a glow there. Osala, an orb of light. The way that my feet are so lit by Jesus. What am I gonna do? What am I doing? Making like an owl. Turning my head 180 degrees backwards to look emva. The coming part is a 14-part series where I started in very casual gear because I wasn't planning on recording. Jewelry, nothing that, the stuff that I tend to put on to prepare myself to record. And I didn't even do that because I didn't think that I would be speaking for 14 hours. But I spoke for 14 hours because I knew even though I was planning on speaking for just 2 hours, and inferno just going and going. I could do no other thing but speak here, spit like proper for as many hours as I tend to come anyway. So when I lay a 14-part series on which I am appending as an addendum this here video. Last time I appended a video at the end of my videos to say that on your chest. Now I'm appending it at the beginning. My decision was made, it was my story and I was sticking to it. But like I said, I don't glitch and twitch. I guess it's a battery. I'm a human being with a pulse, a heartbeat. I got blood coursing through my veins, hemoglobin Archer causing my blood to be blood red, to be bright red. I got cells, I got white blood cells. I'm a multicellular organism, a human being. God breathed into me and I became a living soul, made in the image of God. So I mean, seeing as we're in the image of God, askwazi nje uyobuga, just jonga. Peeling your eyes onto something, piquing your interest. So devastation of your own country, of your own Sodom from which you come. Can't just look at it, dog. Coughing, wheezing like a geriatric out here on his dead bed, 5 seconds away from eternity without Jesus. I come from here. I come from this deadbeat nation. Do you understand? I used to love this place. Remember that song, TKZ? We really love this place. We really love this place today. The music is playing whatever. I used to love this country like it don't matter. Like nothing else gave. Everywhere else was frankly scraps, like a side dish. The chips on the side, acha. But it was never the main meal. I planned to travel, but I was never ever gonna be away from my country for more than a holiday, maybe 2 months if I'm pushing it in another country. The plan was to invest even in property in another nation just for the sake of imali. But for what? For who? Multiple races, too much discrimination because of the diversity that we have. In my ministry, in the video that is up and coming, complain, and I'm not really complaining, but I'm just highlighting that the nation that I'm moving to, South Korea, is so homogenous that there's still disquiet in people's bones upon gazing at anybody with a different skin tone from theirs. No such thing in this country. Top of that, full of talent, full of many different languages. Almost everybody in this country is a polyglot. Multiple languages on their tongue. Listen, it's hard to come across a nation in Jal. And we got that down. And then on top of that, I see my natural disasters, no earthquakes, no tsunamis. I mean, I'm out here moving to Asia, where in Japan, their buildings are built to accommodate perpetual tremors. To accommodate an earthquake. And when they happen, Japanese sebajwayele so much that their reaction in an earthquake puzzles tourists and non-natives. Because everybody else is out just screaming, pulling out their hairs from their heads, while Japanese people are strangely cool and couth in the midst of an earthquake because bafundiswe to deal with such a seismic landscape. We don't have any of that going on. So, summer is summer here in South Africa, spring is spring. You will tell the difference. And autumn is autumn, because the leaves are brown. But there are some countries where you can't tell the difference between winter and summer because or humid, weird weather during a time of the year when it is supposed to be some other season. Without even any confusion, all of our seasons. Winter, spring, summer, autumn. Sasenja, you have in the video that's up and coming, 14 parts, I spoke about our farmable land. How it is that we are able to harvest lots and lots of produce, and how as a result of a lack of farmable land in places like South Korea where I'm going, I'm a fruit and my vegetables ayadur. And I say, we don't have any such issue. I'm a apple are cheap, I'm a berry, I'm a yonkin to mango. Listen, and now sometimes even all year long, you be out getting avocados. You be out getting avocados during a time of the year that other countries cannot gloat about that. They can't gloat about it. You have to plan your diet in accordance to what season it is. Whereas tina singadla whatever we want to eat, whatever time of the year, because accommodate a landscape that is just so fruitful that we can eat strawberries all year long. Not only in South Africa, there are nations like that, but we've got a pretty decent geographical location that I've been born in. And we were blessed with diversity. So yeah, we really love this place. I used to love it. Because what is the point of a land flowing with milk and honey out here flowing wine and rooibos when don't nobody like each other, when everybody's sabotaging each other, when where water mall and you find out there's some store that was huge. I say did they move to another part of the mall? No, bakwala. Why? Because South Africans are just like epic saboteurs of each other. Abafazi bethu abakwazi ukuchata ngoba I'm my ex-boyfriend jealous over my dead body. Karabo una 41 now turning 42, uzoba 43 sister, na 45 50. Because me as your ex-boyfriend, I don't want offspring being born in this country that come from your womb because I'm jealous for it when I am the kind of person that I am. And so that's basically progeny produced from my eggs in this country that are going to make for star students in school, star athletes, if at all. Maybe their dad was athletic, I wasn't athletic. Star whatever. Entrepreneurs, business leaders, paradigm shifters. Abo Elon Musk that they should be born, because my ex-boyfriend's womb that are insisting ukuthi mina you have a geriatric womb in pregnancy. Never mind that, but menopause without kids. Because ex-boyfriend akayirike ngoba karabo mina angizofuna angifuna ukuthi indoda izokuthanda. So abafazi bethu I endured through like cold fronts nje, unable to find love, bese bagcina banomona so much over the youth that abakwazi ukuthanda young women on the come up and so groom them, be mentors. Ngoba my ex-boyfriend asiphethe hostage ukuthi singathandwa ngamadoda, and so if asithandwa and asibi nabantwana kahle in marriages, kwenzakala ngabantwana on that day. What is the quality of offspring, of progeny on that day? Those progeny of which are what? Like the country. Ke bana ba ko dikolong tsa rona, ke bana ba tlo passang matric, ke bana ba tlang university, ba tlo thusang corporate ya mo South Africa. Hey, trade, industry, agriculture, farming, wherever it might be a sector, abantwana bethu, they are supposed to populate those spaces in the future to keep the thing going, the machine that we are going. Abantwana bakhona kodwa, I mean, what quality of children are we bringing into the country? What quality of offspring are we breeding? Nkare di phofo ha re fostwa nyala ka dikorobela rinki wa ke di polygamy se senang di menace re tseba hantle fela hore di generational curses are a thing. You can't deny that. Ngoba kaze wena awufani no gogo yini, awufani no mama yini, awufani no uncle noma angena character yini, awiginza yini ngoba samsigebengu from back in the day mekuyisigebengu kini. Ama generational curses are a thing. So manje njengoba nithathisa abafazi to ama polygamous kabuhlungu njena and bona ukuthi you are creating deadbeat boys, sons and very unhappy women, namby-pamby women that are taking trash in their stride, dog. Abafazi nje fela abazwamukela polygamy. You know the saying, curiosity killed the cat. Yo, I'm a cat, not I'm gone killed, but at least I got 9 lives, so look at me go, I'm still alive. I was curious. Advertisement. Kimo busy pile matlanze iparle pelaka. More YouTube. Yes, I'm show on Netflix called The Polygamist. Ngathi mina over my dead body footing ngihlanze Netflix ngingalili ngoba it was marring my spirit like I ain't jack, dog. It was making me dirty like I can't go tap. So so guys, I'm on Netflix because of indaba ukuthi I've got a lot of time on my hands. I don't do videos anymore. I ngagcina nje ngakwazi uku exercise self-control. Look at me go, lacking all that virtue. And I went into Netflix again. I got my passwords, everything from my mom. The way that I had so long ago left Netflix, it had kicked me out. I had to re-sign in again. Again, nonsense. I watched it. It let's take out all those expletives and all that licentiousness. I watched it. I don't know other thing but curiosity to see ukuthi lento lezophela kanjani kimomzansi ibhizi nseruta nyoko ka entertainment. And I was indeed grieved because I'm a child of God. You don't watch all that profanity and not get afflicted, and you don't watch all that licentiousness and not get afflicted. God, in spite of my grief, I was nonetheless pleasantly surprised by how that show ended, and the way Ifedelenkatengi made me be like, perhaps there is hope yet in this nation. They were trying to proliferate each agenda. Yama polygamists unfettered labantu siyabasiza ukuthi bayothola abafazi, until I realized ukuthi the storyline makes sense. The whole thing was written by a woman. Was just showing ukuthi polygamy ayenze next. Lamadoda bagcina violent, futhi bayamosha, futhi they infect the youth, futhi they cause women to become murderers. Listen, my whole content is premised around that entire show, and I was like, look at that go. I watched it in one day. 22 episodes. I watched it from, let's say today, 7, 8 the next morning, all of it in one sitting. I didn't watch it over 2 or 3 days. I watched it in one sitting. And I was like, hi, Mzansi Shem. I was like, hi, Mzansi Shem. Noma kuboniswa ukuthi ama-polygamist story sabo siphela kanjani. Nisase busy ngifuna ukuthatha a second and third wives. Nisenzelele busy. Even when people are out here using television to show you this thing is killing the country, senzelele pusha passion. Kunale bana bangisamonile nkare nakili demoni bama polygamist. Senzen bazam. Abo Jonasi basa busy bangifuna mina ngenkani. Acanga ukuthi mina nginyanzi type setup nake mabiki kima matipa. That's who I am. Athi mina ngumatipa ngokwamele ngiyoseducer inja nje engayenzi sense, even though all these years ngisekeretswa I'm not that girl ngwana mrena Jesu hle. Kopa le tlhompeng virtue ya ka mara ba tletse ka nkana ke re ka ofela basadi ka ditlhare ba tlo retsa matipa rona ba tlo retsa di sisters tse senang self control ha ba bona nje fela monna ntsa tshologa chelete. That's all that it takes for you to accommodate a polygamy. My ex-boyfriend yana US then Westgate ka ngothi mina ngiku AC first love for me kasi waphuma him for a very long amount of time kodwa ufuna ukubuya this time around after taking some other chick for a wife and then say no marakarabo, it's always been you. So I'm either AC mina second wife, but I could have been a first, because all these middle-aged men feel like I was always the one, or even though only ring e kana e khanyang all up in my grill. Indoda ezofihla pregnancy yonke 9 months. Side chick corner, the way that she's so drunk on witchcraft. Nah, uyafihla that thing. Utopata ba mama twins. Uyofihla mawele nje aphele. Ama triplets abantwana bazokhula 9 months yonke. You are out here going for prenatal care, whatever. Go hospital. Uya go gynecology wetsa check up, wetsa di scan. Mosadi wa teng hatse. Mosadi o ka itlhoya gakalo. Can you love a man so much? I want to register on that day. Can you love a man so much that you will let yourself go to isifihlo sakhe? O lo ba siphirisa monna. Elore at some point when ba tla tlogela mosadi wa hae for wena mara ha bona mosadi wa gege as a lightning strike over there. That wedding renewal wa gopola gore wa go gopola nya khumbula, I miss you. Whoa. So a man out there trying to go back to his ex-wife, by then he's made his mistress so besotted with him that this mistress is now willing to let herself be isfihlo bo. A woman that once upon a time had enough pride in herself to refuse to be juggled with another woman now say she is such a secret that she carries to term. Amawele boy. Twins. That show is no lie. Carries to term amawele. Go find out what pause. My whole ministry. If at all you've been anally and pedantically watching my content, the storyline go fela. The polygamist Hashem. Kidibuile mona kare he bana ba redella basadi but basadi lelo na halena maitseo na self control. Matipa ingawe upizing a married man. Outstanding. You're too young for that nonsense. Yo. Nze ke chokella. Shiriana e very licentious ya go ba nonsense ya ko YouTube that has done this to my ministry. Madima bona ke motseba from back in the day. Ke matipa. Let's seduce the married man. Ansana le mosadi hana taba and now feeling that this is my man, I'm gonna take him. According to their rhetoric from another woman. So all the pain you cause is irrelevant. Even in front of abantwana, my teenagers akhulayo, preteens that are looking at older women and just feel acting a fool for a guy. The daughter is like me, the daughter of that Jonasi, not Joyce, the one that that has been owned. I'm sure Jonasi has got kids across multiple spaces. Yeah. I'm like that. Why are you tolerating this guy, mom? He don't make no sense. And daughter wakho na understand akatlhaloganye but why dad are you like this? Why mom, why are you accommodating lenyongo yendoda? Why do you keep letting him come back in? She's unforgiving. This is nonsense. I did that for her own future. But I mean, isn't the daughter gonna end up being like her mom? Isn't the son gonna end up being like his dad? Son, apprehensive about the dad's ways. In the end, wenzani see that is very potentially HIV positive because he's always had a crush on her. And a Gen Z, do you understand what I'm saying? That is the age of the son, but the dad was busy hitting that. The dad, being a middle-aged man that gave HIV to a Gen Z that's either fresh out of high school or early 20s, is then gonna go and sleep with what? Another Gen Z guy. And like I said, I've been saying throughout this time in my ministry, prevalence of HIV and AIDS among 18 to 25-year-olds is caused by middle-aged men like uJonas Siso. Zonke lezi issue ku-polygamist. Kaze mina ngihlezwi esifubweni injanyana yomfazi no boyfriend yakhona uJonas no Matip. Bangihlezi esifubweni ukuthi mina ngakhuluma ithu lemzansi le. Hawatlogile wele South Africa. Bangithi sifubeni Jonas wangibhatla as third wife, 7th, 20th, however many wives. Angisho for them, the more the merrier, because I think they Father Christmas, able to give everybody gifts on Christmas. 2 of them, the 3 of the Grand Shop, it's a whole cult, it's a syndicate. When I'm talking about issues in the country, Marawana situation showing the polygamist is the reason why Umzansi Ngamhlanje is wheezing like a geriatric, and manje I'm sitting here all apprehensive. In my 14 part series, I tried very hard to speak only English. Because I thoroughly understood ukuthi la ngiyakhona mina akunamzulu nje that's gonna benefit from my ministry. Bangi-rejectile bonke. Akunamxhosa, akunamtswana, akunam South African, because I'm gunning for a different. I said in that ministry that South Africa, because inhliziyo yami is big for you. I will likely still in the beginning of my in the beginning of my tenure in South Korea, I will likely still be talking to you because I don't know Korean yet. But for the duration of time that it would take for me to learn Korean, that would be how much time you have essentially to just get your act together. I said that. And so ngaskhuluma isingisi, esinye polished, ngiyazi ukuthi I'm good at it. Where I would speak my own languages, I remembered and I shook myself again into shape on some stop with the Tswana, stop with the Zulu. Gonzima, when you come from this country, the languages busy it's very hard. If you are a polyglot from Africa that can speak your own mother tongues, it's very hard to just stick with English. But you have to train yourself to be that thing if you're going to move to another nation where that is the majority of your audience. You see it with all these content creators that live in Japan and China and other countries. They come to YouTube and they actually be speaking Tswana and Ngati some Korean is gonna get that. It's hard for us not to speak our languages, but I am trying. I was trying very hard to start recording without using my languages because I understood that South Africa, as the scripture that a prophet has no honor in his own hometown or an evangelist umuntu nje ophuma emzansi ayena honor emzansi. If at all ngumzalwane. Hey, it's never been more true. It's never been more true. Ngati mina if at all labantu whose languages I speak, where English is a lingua franca, it is a ubiquitously understood language across the world. Since you got that in the bag and you're fluent with it, just stick with the English, because the nuances of your culture, the variations of who you are, the thing that makes you all so spectacular, because you're gonna have to just get over that, baby girl, and be nice and boring on the English speaking. Only one language on your tongue. It's not. I'm not bilingual. I'm what? It's a trilingual. How many languages do we speak? Yeah. My polyglot nature is irrelevant. Some languages when you go to other countries, it's not like Zulu is Spanish or French or Portuguese, where you can find it in many countries. Maybe if you go to a little bit of Namibia, you could find it. Maybe if you go to Lesotho, you could find it. If you go to Botswana, you could find it. But it's in here in these sub-Saharan African streets. I'm better off learning French because, I could slay a bit of Africa with French, a whole bunch of Europe, So I'm better off being multilingual in languages like Portuguese, French, not Italian, sorry, Spanish. That's what makes more sense. But look at me. Having to move to another country, forget about isiZulu Sam, because who's going to get it other than this here sub-Saharan Africa? Forget about Matswana, because who's going to get it other than just here la Mzansi? By Mzansi Africa, I mean Southern Africa, as opposed to just South Africa. Who's going to get it? No one. But look at me also. Go to a country whose language, Korea, is also listen, just in Korea. Maybe North Korea, if you're feeling a little bit getting suicidal, you can go there too. But you're just stranded with that language in Korea. So it's not the best extra language that you can learn if you want to go and take on a new language. The best thing you can do for yourself is go perhaps French, Spanish, Portuguese maybe. Not even German. Yeah, go these other languages. Then maybe you can travel to a whole bunch of countries like Brazil if you know Spanish. If you know Portuguese, you can go to Portugal, Brazil, and other Portuguese-speaking countries. If you know Spanish, you can go to Mexico, you can go to Colombia, Spain itself. You know what I mean? You can travel anywhere to be a teacher over there. So the best countries that would make sense for me to go and teach would be where it is that they speak Spanish, because that language I can take it to so many countries. French, I could take it to so many countries. But Korean, I can only take it to Korea, right? Or if I'm feeling a little bit suicidal, maybe even North Korea. But it's limited. It's like Zulu. It's like Tswana. It's only gonna do you some kind of excellent favor if you're in the country that speaks it. So going to Korea, I'm going to be restricted to Korean. To Korea, just generally. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I will be restricted to Korea, but my acquisition of a new language is not so much that I might be able to travel the world. Y'all remember what you did to me, right, South Africa? My acquisition of a new language is so I can be able to live somewhere comfortably without looking over my shoulder and people all the time, and people going out of their way to ascertain that I can't do anything with my life other than stand still like a statue, not move. So my acquisition of a new language is about how those people accommodate me, embrace me, how they love me, and not so much about where can I go. I'm not trying to paint the world red. I'm not trying to hop up and down in these streets like a kangaroo from continent to continent, country to country. I'm just trying to live. I am not in my 20s anymore where I can just be traveling across the world to see how it all looks, to inhale the air of a different continent. I'm not trying to do any of that. I just want to be stable. I just want to be human. And South Africa refused that I should do that. And then the Lord said, you're going to Korea. That's the first place where you're going to lodge your buttock down. And so, of course, if I'm going to make myself as comfortable as possible, I want to know the language. So that's the only reason why the next language on my to-do list is Korean. But just the very fact that you have tried to put an expiration date or usability on Zulu and Tswana, just the fact that you have determined to put a use by shelf life date on that language, on that day, you have done that to your own country. You will remember Charlize Theron, who is not so much English but Afrikaans, and she once in an interview, after moving to the US and being there for very many years and now being a big A-list actress, she thoroughly said Afrikaans, like only 5 people still use it, it's irrelevant. The chick can speak Afrikaans, but she just doesn't care for it. When a person defects from a country that wholeheartedly, they be out just speaking that way about your languages. Charlize Theron offended a whole bunch of Afrikaners. Because who do you think you are to say our language ain't jack? Whole bunch of Afrikaans people are just doing TikToks and YouTubes, lamenting against Charlize Theron's lack of respect for the Afrikaans language. So, I mean, if you want black people to travel to other countries and be like, I mean, listen, only 5 people are still speaking that. What am I going to do with Tswana? Only 2 people are still speaking it. I mean, Charlize Theron was not wrong. Where else is Afrikaans spoken on earth? If you as South Africans don't preserve yourselves as a people and so therefore keep your languages strong, who else is going to do it? You will remember what happened with the Jews, right? They're Hebrew. Yeah. They were Hellenized by the Greeks. And so all of them were out here adopting Greek as a language. A project then was brewed from the ground up through the emperors after Alexander the Great of Greece to rewrite the scriptures in Greek. And so now we have the Septuagint. And some people lament that the Septuagint is not the true word of God. It adds stuff. Much of the Apocrypha in the Catholic Church was from the Septuagint. And so not only do the original Jews reject much of the Septuagint, but some even within the Christian community reject it because of translation from the original language to another one, as a result of trying to make it culturally relevant to that new dispensation. And not only that, the fact that the children are growing up without knowing Hebrew. So, I mean, really, if we're going to preserve the scriptures, if we're going to preserve God in the hearts and minds of Jews, we have to, in this Hellenistic society, translate the scriptures into Greek. And so now we have the Septuagint. So if you want a Septuagint version of Xhosa, a Septuagint version of Zulu, of Tswana, you will keep doing this to South Africans, kicking them into the diaspora with their language, like just watering down. Like today, I was at the mall with my mom, which is why I'm here doing this video, even though I don't want to do it. And as we were driving back, she spoke, not even back, just throughout the whole time. Throughout the whole time, as I was with my mom, every so often she would just drop these like hard knock Tswana words that Lady Chica, sister girl, never taught me. And I would like, what does that mean? I'd be like, what does that mean, ma? What does that mean? At some point, I get irritated that, like, how dare, it's almost, I was like brazen to have an how dare you disposition about myself. How dare you speak to me in all that pure Tswana when I don't know it? Don't frustrate me. You better color up your Tswana with a whole bunch of English, otherwise I'm not gonna catch up. Just the fact that I have to watch Netflix Zulu shows reading subtitles. Like, I found out from watching The Polygamist that to complain is to ukunkonkotha. I didn't know that, but I'm Zulu. Isitswana na, so angikwazi mina ukusibukela without reading subtitles on Netflix. And after my mom said enough of these Tswana words, and I was like, what is that? What is that? She was like, hey Luna, yeah, I'll get them pizza basotho. And I was like, but ma, that's on you though. I was like, that's on you. That's on you and all the elders that raised us. You did not insist on maintaining the purity of the language. You just threw us into these English schools, made us think that English is the better thing to run with. English as a first as opposed to a second or a third language. When rather so you were supposed to maintain the culture, keep it strong. But society, right next to your own laziness to maintain the dialect on our tongue, made us English speakers more than we are Tswana. So with each other. When you listen to the youth, younger people talking, you cannot have a whole sentence pieced together that is grammatically sound, without adding Sizulu here and there, some other little color, without adding inside Zulu some Tswana, without adding inside Zulu English, maybe like some words Afrikaans say, galore. And so we end up coveting the purity of Zulu dialect on people's tongues, as kulisangwa, that way. That's what happens when you allow your cultural identity to wane. And I spoke about that in this 14-part series. A Zulu show, look on Netflix, subtitles. They have got to watch a Tswana show reading subtitles. English is the only thing that they can listen to from start to finish without subtitles. It's shameful. It's shameful. Since on Netflix, I'm busy watching Smallville, that old school show, yeah, Superman, because it's clean. Yeah, and it dawned on me the other day, I'm on season 2, episode 3 or something. It dawned on me that, listen, this whole entire show, I've been watching it all of season 1 and now I'm at episode 3 of season 2. I'm now on episode 3 of season 2, and it dawned on me that the whole thing, I have watched it without subtitles. The whole thing. I was like, Jongano Karabo. All this time on her CV, and all this time everywhere she's been going Lam Zansi. Every time on bank applications in Tswana, Zulu first language, English second language. And yet, when it comes to a Zulu show or a Tswana show on Netflix, ngama subtitles kodwa isingisi sona. Ama subtitles are only realize it, I happen upon it in season 2 ukuthi sonke lesikhathi I've been watching this thing without subtitles. Everything. That's what happens when you let another culture just invade you, like it's some aliens from outer space or whatever. That is exactly what happens. That's how this gives. Do you understand? And indaba yokuthi mina ngiyahamba la eMzansi to go and live in another country, I'm going to be an expat and then a citizen in some other nation. And I said in the 14-part series that America, I'm over it. America, when you have seen the purity, the conservativeness, the glory, and the cultural girth of nations that are largely overlooked, however, so much better to live in, you get over places like America. You get over much of Europe. Once you have, like even Americans themselves, once they go to Korea, once they go to Japan, once they go to China, they're like, I don't want to go back home. And just from in the research in Korea, it just dawned on me that I don't even care to go to the US. I just want a nation that has got a cultural health and an identity respect for their own culture. Because it's nations like those that are not so defeatist that they will refuse to let their own citizens thrive. It's when you neglect your own cultural heritage and your own girth as a whoever, whatever it is that you are, that you start to compete over things like career. You start to refuse that your ex-girlfriend should marry someone else after you all break up. It's when you start to sabotage that badly until your nation is unrecognizable. And I saw that's a whole issue in the US. Today, I was at the mall with my mom. Go Woolworths. They've got pride flags all over the show. They've got a line that has dedicated its whole entire motto to pride. I don't eat the gay agenda. You do well for yourself when you go to countries where that's not yet a thing, where they're not out here trying to proliferate gunk that is destroying societies. Who in the world is trying to proliferate the LGBTQIA agenda in a country that has got such a low birth rate? Who? I mean, they're dumb on that day, right? And in Korea, they're struggling to bring children forth. They're struggling to grow their population. They're on a population decline, and if they don't succeed to do something right where all that is concerned, they will cease to be any kind of feasible nation anymore. That said, therefore, if at all you're trying to burgeon your birth rate in your country, you're not trying to push agendas of people of the same sex that cannot procreate getting together. So you're not going to find a Woolworths in Korea with a pride agenda. While they might accommodate gays and let them be, at the end of the day, we're not trying to so punt this agenda that more of you two men and more of you two women will kiss each other and thoroughly think that it's feasible for you to keep on adopting kids when we're struggling to just bring forth one child per family. We're struggling to bring forth just one child per family. We're not trying to push the gay agenda in this country, no. Because then on that day, our birth rates will decline. Our birth rates will decline even further. You realize such things when you start to research other countries. You start to see that countries that everybody is raving about on a rooftop, flailing their hands, waving them around like they just don't care. Like you're at a concert. They're not all that in a bag of chips. They've just got good PR. They've got good advertisement. They've got good tourism. They are pushing their agenda like no man's business. But if you put your ear to the ground, you will realize the best countries to live in are the ones that nobody's talking about much. Are the ones that most people are not yet running to, hitting the ground running. They are the ones that are yet to be so diversified that they will start to forget their own national identity. So I got over the US. I thoroughly don't want to move there anymore. Whether or not God is moving me there is of his own prerogative and agenda, but I personally don't want to go anymore. Just by mere virtue of this researching South Korea, because God showed me that's where I'm going. At least first. Yeah, I realized that I don't want to go to America. It's the hype is over. It's ending. Long story short, South Africa, you're not the next America. You're losing your own black people as a black country, and they're moving to other countries, marrying over there. And just as difficult as it has been for my mother, my grandmother, and everybody of my elders to keep Tswana strong on my tongue, so too is it going to be rough for me. Even given that my own Tswana is so watered down, my own Zulu is so watered down, it's going to be even rougher to hand that down to some kids, yo. Especially mixed, especially when they've got citizenship in another country. It's going to be even harder. So noma ngingathanda pure Zulu, ngenhliziyo yami yonke. And noma ngingathanda even lanza kinkarata pure Tswana. I guess it's purest form. I'm not fluent. I am maybe a B1 conversationally in terms of my CEFR level for Zulu and Tswana. But in terms of written, worse yet, I might be an A2. Whereas with English, I am a C2. I am advanced in my English. So it's essentially my first language, so it was supposed to be my second. So long story short, I might love the country, but the kids that would come from my belly, if they're born elsewhere, they're not going to see what the big hype was. But you see, they were not here when I was growing up. They did not enjoy the glory days of this country. They don't have the nostalgia that I have. And so therefore the hard cry that I presently am in, the melancholy, the macabre I feel, how ghoulish everything is, how ghostly and ghastly everything is when I look at the street. It is a somber moment and a somber day for me, but all that my kids will see is a third world rando trash can that ain't nobody trying to move to. They won't get. Ain't nobody be trying to move to. They won't get. The days when I was growing up in Soweto, they're not gonna get. The thing that made this nation so awesome that even though you've been hurting me for over a decade, that's a very long amount of time to endure somebody through attrition. You have given me trauma, dog. I need a shrink. At this point. You done did all that to me. Mara, despite how much you have sukhad me, mohara tab. No matter how much you have done that to me, bottom line is my memory now. And my language is then that'll never get old to me. And that'll always spur up nostalgia because I did build memories here. And at some point, I really loved this place. I did the music I did. And that's the only reason why at my apprehension, at the height and the girth of my apprehension. Because who in the world do you think you are? Oh, polytheistic beast you. To think you can summon me like I'm one of your demons in a satanic ritual. Who do you think you are? After I decided to door slam the living dead out of you miscreants. I'm only going to post something on social media again. I'm saying pila in another country. I don't look back. I'm too feisty to do any of that. I'm too fierce to do any of that, and I'm too resolved. I'm way too good at goodbye. That's what I am. Not a permanent departure from a country. It's a deep thing, man. It's a heavy thing. Refugee running away from a country because of social political issues. That's huge. That's big. It means uhamba ngenkani ungazingeni. Uhamba ungafuni crash up. Utsamaiswa kita ba hore war broke out, dog. What else can you do? It's the country you love, kodwa hayi ntwana. And I hope ke tlo tlhokafala. I'm gonna die ngena lutho. Ke tlo tlhokafala ke sena ke le sentence. Hanga sala mo South Africa. Ngihamba kabuhlungu. It's what I'm getting at. Ngihamba crash I'm feeling ngathi ningikhahlelile ukuthi ngiphume. So how tsamaya ha botlhoko jwalo? You're always gonna try and make like a little nurse. Do you understand? You're gonna make like a little nurse or a doctor, a paramedic, some kind of medical professional, and try to see if you can patch some dying beast back together again with sticky tape. Kodwa ngizoba patch back after I was trying to open for my cat. That's why I'm breathing heavy. How are you gonna patch a person back together again when you're being sat on the chest off by two very excruciatingly selfish beasts? Not two, but they're like my main afflictor. How do you Sebo du to wesa mogwanti. On tutsing sifubeng from YouTube. Opa oh nje fela ha o tswa o nkga moya wa mo this country o realize go nkga sphinyada. There is a pathogen coursing in the air. You're that pathogen and you're also the proliferator of that very pathogen. You are the disease in the country. You are the metastasizing cancer in the country. You and your Putmadlesa Jonasi, your polygamistic beasts that you are helping get a woman that they just don't deserve. You, my darling, are responsible for the death of this country. So njengoma mina ngizama ukuyobandisha this dying country, how am I gonna bandage it? Kiruti mosifubeng kinjana ngoriyangata. Kiruti mosifubeng kinja that is defecating where he eats. Ngihlezi wesifubeni mina. Inje canga ukuthi mina ngimfazi wakhona ngingasibayi. Lenkani yenu that has made you harass a woman. Do spells to make sure that no person looks at her highly kamontle kamol. Antale mupila le mukana, ale mutla le ka. Porque ska sheba ke monno mong. Le busy leng loyal le blind. Na tšhelete ya o senga ke le bona. Khale le tšhelete ya o senga. Motho sa sbae mara o busy wena cause a ke gona le addiction. Ontso loyal. Motho ya he a ke batla. Wena wa hash. Wena wa push. Wena o rata motho. Nkare you are unique, nkare you are new in the thing you're doing. Hey, ingathi wena you're the first one ever to have a crush on umuntu from far away. Ohlezi behind a computer screen. Ingathi wena you're the first person to have a crush on a celebrity. Ingathi wena you're the first person to have a crush on a content creator. Ingathi wena you are the first person to have a crush on someone whose content you found nje on YouTube. And so ngoba ama feelings wakho are strong for umuntu nje oh far away. Hey bandla we oh ule bese uzoyenza istalker. What you are unique as is being a stalker and a creep. That is kind of rare in society. Mara having a crush on someone from TV nje. Muchomo bonang. From behind the screen. That's common. Oh, that's common. We actually all of us be having celebrity crushes on people that we can never touch. But we are rational and sober enough to understand. Rational and sober enough to understand ukuthi angeke mina ngiyojola nalo muntu ever. Hatlongada. Mara nake morada. But we don't go out of our way to try and be with those people. Most of us are sober enough when we have got celebrity crushes or crushes on content creators to know that we can't be with them. That's what's reasonable. That's what makes for ration sobriety. That's what makes for sensibility. Babi one mental sanity. It's not having the crush that's erroneous. It's in what you do with it when this person is so far out of your reach that you are frankly mentally ill. When you thoroughly envisage that you can be with it. And there are some people here that are like, how many men have an insatiable, inordinate, frankly unhealthy crush on Beyonce? And out of those men, how many of them think they can actually be with her? The issue here is not in spazzing over a celeb. People can get hot out during these streets. When you're gonna be with someone that you've only ever seen on the internet, uyahlanya kodwa manisizwa ngabo chicken ngabo weird chick ngabo madipa ngoba bona ngisho bazenza amahosha for amadoda achadile. So now all of us have got to be amahosha for amadoda achadile. It's when they're being helped by weird women that thoroughly think ukuthi thina abanye sizozalawa nje as content creators to be dated by subscribers. Umuntu nje that's going to like your videos, comment and then think that because you liked their comment bese bazocabanga thoroughly hanhle fela nje. Why put nkare ke koranta idea ena mo tlhogong ya gagwe? Why put? Why mena nkare ke koranta idea ena mo tlhogong ya hae go tlo tlola le motho that he is subscribed to? Ngiyabona. I mean, Jeleni, what are the reasons why you have a crush on a celebrity or someone that's a little far out of reach? What are the reasons? Maybe you like their porcelain skin. Maybe you like their body because they're a fitness content creator, so they're ripped. Maybe you like that baba sesane hair gati. My cat's inside now. There's a myriad of reasons why you like someone on the internet, and a lot of the reasons why you like them is because they've got something admirable going on Gabon that sometimes you as the viewer just don't have. Sometimes you as the person watching this are not there. If you like this person because they're tall, they're a model, or they're ripped, they're an athlete. Marawena ole, some sloth playing video games that is rotund, big enough to be on my 500-pound life. Kaludla my keep on your couch. Kaze, when you develop a big fat chunky crush on a ripped athlete, fine, that athlete might be bigger in character than most of us and so be willing to be with you. But for the larger majority, you are not gonna get them. For the larger majority of the time, you're not gonna get that person. And also, for the larger majority of the time, people are sober enough to know that. People are sober enough to know that I cannot be with this sports star that I have a massive crush on. Because out of reach, man. Just out of reach. And that is the thing that keeps society largely safe. And that's the thing that keeps celebrities largely safe. The fact that people spaz over them thinking that they're all that in a bag of potato chips, but that largely they will know that they're not going to be with Tyler. They just know. Most people are sober enough to know that they're not going to date Tyler, even though they might spaz over her every time she arguably be breaking out into a song or whatever. So manje wena macanga ukuthi uzojola no Tyler. Uyahlanya. Kodwa Tyler is in a lot of danger when there is some friend of hers, somebody owamotsebang, someone that has got some kind of power to make sure that she is placed before her livid fan. If one of her managers puts her in harm's way of this fan, she will face death. She can get raped because some irresponsible freakazoid decided that she's gonna go and grab Tyler, or he is gonna go and grab Tyler and put Tyler in front of a mere fan, a subscriber, someone in Jeffela that has seen her content on social media. Do you see how bizarre that is? Then again, the things like it's not like I'm saying them for the first time. I've said this time and time again. I've spoken these very things so many times on a loop, nje, that it's, hey Joe, homicidal. That people think ukuthi mina it's okay. But to bang on the internet, and because I'm not at the height, I guess, of Tyler, just in terms of proliferation, I'm not a celebrity, I'm not famous, but nonetheless, I am so far away from these people who think ukuthi mina bayangithanda. I'm so out of reach, and again, I've also been found nowhere else but behind a computer screen. That it's uncouth, devastating, and dastardly for anyone to think ukuthi kufeasible ukujwala nami ngoba anginamali or whatever. It's entirely uncouth. And onale some crazy lady that because nangitseba back in the day, though we weren't even friends, tanguthi siyazana ga wangtella wangcry no ra tsebana una no re re dimpinch una no re ke next door neighbor ya ha una no re ke makhelwane. Why this chick una no re ke colleague ha ya someone nje fela ha batla ho ntsipa ka gona ho access o rang tsip because me ngazi back in the day ucabanga that she has power to marry me to a freaking fan. So because of this here doting fan, nothing gets better than me. I hugely and deeply resented the prospect of, for no other reason but the fact that I feel sorry for my country. Come back here one last time to see if I get because of some livid fan that thinks that to summon me demon using his pantheon of gods. Enough to be in close proximity to each other enough for her to succeed. She posted anywhere else. Baga be out just scouring, my point exactly. He's out just scouring the internet for my content. That's where he found me. Trying to see if maybe I'm posting at TikTok, I'm posting on Rumble. Didn't I go to BitChute? He's gone everywhere, dog. All of these other underground social media platforms. Most people don't even post there because they prefer to be on YouTube. He's gone there, searched on YouTube itself to see if Lomfazo are addicted, apparently, allegedly, to posting, to ministry. If at all, she's not going to find somewhere else to post. Indota ezokfuna that hectically. Ingati is seeking the internet out for a rerun where Ellie McBeal. Have you ever missed an old school show until you scour the internet for it? Trying to find it. I don't know how many times I've tried to find Ellie McBeal. Series on Netflix because I used to be a massive fan back in the day. Hey, I've looked for it and you told they're not showing it anywhere prime time anyway. I can say I feel like it would be worth a while. I'm not rerun where Ellie McBeal, but it's not available on Netflix. Although I think that today I might be grieved by it, but when I was a kid I used to like it. I'm a Christian now, so a lot of stuff that I used to like I'm grieved by. But you know how they brought back Smallville on Netflix? Until finally wait all. This guy is scouring the internet the same way